Hello. Hello, it's Friday. Hi. So today, I'm sure that I'm just a nervous mama, but baby cat went for her first visit to the vet this morning with Albert. So I'm in here practicing by myself, and I'm just like, "Ooh, where's my baby?" But she got into the carrier and off she went. So hopefully she'll have a nice, safe visit to the vet, and Albert's going to bring her home on his lunch break. Um, she dragged my mala and my cards all over this room last night. So we're getting to the point where she'll go get what she wants and take it everywhere. And it's so cute to wake up and find like my tarot cards and my bells and her little mouse. And she's made like a little arrangement out of them. Okay, and we get to find out today if she can mix with the other cats. I think she can, but that'll be very helpful once she can be with the other cats, because then they will teach her to cat. So today we are with a golden sort of saffron color, golden orangey red Tara, number 5, Tara of the awakened mind of sublime intelligence, shining like the blazing light of the sun. Praise her whose mantric sound of tutare hum fills the realms of desire, all directions, all space. She tramples the 7 worlds with her feet. She has the power to control and summon them all. The mantric sounds of tutare and hum represent wisdom and compassion. Those sounds pervade all realms of existence with light. Tutare removes all fears. Tara presses down upon the 7 realms of the world with her feet, which also represent wisdom and compassion, or wisdom and compassion. The 7 worlds refers to the realms of samsara, that's where we live, the hells, the realms of the hungry ghosts, animals, humans, the jealous gods, the desire gods, the form and the formless. She thus invokes all the forces of these realms and places all beings in joyful bliss. With intelligence, the mind examines samsara and masters its illusion. When obstacles arise and our mind reacts in habitual neurotic ways, we may lose the clarity and connection with our intuitive wisdom. Then it will take a methodical approach to bring us back to that clarity. This is the quality of intelligence, that aspect of mind which can stand aside and hold a discriminating view of what is wholesome and true and what is unwholesome and illusory. It's our ability to understand the methods of practice, the mechanics of training the mind away from illusion and suffering and onto the path of freedom and fulfillment. So today we are going to watch our minds. We've been really all this week getting messages to watch our minds, to pay attention to what our minds are doing. How are our minds reacting? How are, our different mental obscurations clouding our ability to be the magic in the world? Like, this is what we're here to do. We're here to be the magic in the world. So today we're going to work on calming the mind and rewarding that discernment. It's so interesting. I just was reading another article about this very morning that was like, freedom is really all about the ability to make good choices. To truly have freedom is to be able to make good choices about where we're putting our energy, what we allow into our consciousness, how we engage with the world. And the more clarity we have right here within ourselves, the more clarity we'll have to bring out to the world and to bring something of value in our magic to others. And so I think today, let's work with this form of Tara. So Tara, yellow, golden red Tara of the awakened mind. And we're going to ask for her to show us the difference between what thoughts are really useful and what thoughts are not really useful. And in paying attention to those discernments, we'll come to a sense of calm, not feeling like we're led around by a rope affixed to a ring in our nose, by our emotions, by our thoughts, but rather feeling like, no, spirit is what leads me in this life, and spirit is the one that I report to. And if I'm not sure, really sure, of what the difference is between what spirit is telling me and what my mind is telling me, I'm going to sit calmly and peacefully until I know. That is our triple dog dare for today. So let's see what the card has to say, if we've got some further guidance on this. For our weekend, no less. The whole weekend, we're going to pay attention to the mind. Today, aloneness. Long is the night for the sleepless. Don't I know it? Long is the... I had terrible insomnia last night, just like hormonal insomnia for days. Long is the night for the sleepless. Long is the road for the weary. Long is the passing through endless births for the one who strays from awareness. It is better by far to travel alone, stumbling in the darkness, than to travel in the company of a fool who carries no light. And sometimes that fool that we're traveling with is the mind, carrying no light, just trying to send us on adventures that may or may not be good for us. Spirit will always send us on good adventures, even if they're difficult. The journey to become aware takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Progress can seem slow, and changes can seem almost imperceptible. You will certainly become tired and discouraged along the way. You'll want to change course. You'll want it to end. But remember, the journey is much longer for those who never begin. There are many challenges to finding yourself on the path to awareness. It can be lonely, and you can lose your way. You will be forgetful, and long periods will pass where you don't remember yourself at all. But be encouraged. You are one of the fortunate ones. You have stepped onto the path. Your eyes have already opened. In your longing to become more awake, you already carry a light. No longer will you wander around in an eternal abyss. It's abyss. Once you have taken one small step, you will put a small lantern in your hand, and it will grow brighter. So don't listen. I used to see a bumper sticker. I loved it. It said, "Don't believe everything you think." Really good guidance. Don't believe everything you think. Everything you think is, not necessarily true. So you have to kind of learn to go, okay, I might have lots and lots of thoughts and ideas, but I can't follow each and every one of them. I might have lots of positions that I take, powerful positions, times when I feel really convinced, and then I might discover that I'm wrong. There will be other times when I was sure that I did a terrible job, but really everybody says it was great and that they felt grateful that I was there or that I did something. You can't always know what impact your words and actions will have outside. You can only hope and intend and act that they will be whole and that they will come from the right place. The quickest way to making sure that you come from the right place is to make sure that you have ample time to go within, to release the mind, to release the sense of clinging, to release the fear, to release the voices telling you all these different competing thoughts, and instead just quiet yourself and let the small voice of spirit arise. The small voice of spirit will rarely praise you, first of all. It will rarely praise you. It will also rarely criticize you. The small voice of spirit isn't here to make you feel good or to make you feel bad. It's here to guide you. It's like a red light or a stop sign. It's not here, we don't like think, oh, they put a stop sign on my corner. It doesn't make sense. We don't think, oh, that light turned red because they knew I was in a hurry. Maybe you think that, but you're not right if you think that. The small voice within is not here to tell you you're terrible, and it's not here to tell you you're wonderful. The small voice within, so any voices within that say, you're wonderful, you're terrible, you're wonderful, you're just, the small voice within that truly guides you is the one that says, here, just do this next step. Here's the plan. Here, have a rest. Those small, action-oriented directives that come forward from the small voice of spirit when we cut through the chaos of mind. They are like nuggets of gold in a stream. Our thoughts are the stream, constantly moving. But those nuggets of gold, when we like pan for them or we see it sparkling there, we can pick up that nugget of gold and we can be like, this is what I can bring home from the stream. So we're going to silence our minds, quiet ourselves, quiet the internal dialogue, recommit today and this weekend to living in the magic. And we're going to look for those little nuggets of gold that arise from the still, quiet place of spirit when we are all over the place, or when our thoughts are pulling us back and forth, or when we're at that long war of, am I good enough? Am I not good enough? Am I good enough? Am I not good enough? Just gone. Okay, that's our homework. We're going to try it. So that's our short bit for today. If that's what you were here for, thanks for coming. Otherwise, let's go on with Guan Yin and Tara practice. 3 prostrations before the shrine today. And let's take refuge. Namo Guru Be. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set our intention, a person, place, situation, or circumstance that will benefit from today's practice. And today we're holding Cindy, who is still experiencing long-lasting after effects from COVID-19, and also Care's daughter, who has had to go back to the hospital, to the ER, for a resurgence of her COVID-related pneumonia. And let's recite the four immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense for Guanxiyin and Tara, she who hears the cries of the world and she who saves. Omahum. 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 Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Guanyin and Tara, remain until the end of samsaric existence, and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. 108 recitations of Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. And with that, Tare, Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. With that Tutare, we're removing all fear. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om tare tu re 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 soha. Wherever there is space, 5 elements pervade. Wherever the 5 elements, the homes of living beings. Wherever living beings, karma and defilements. Wherever is defilement, my compassion also. Wherever is the need of beings, there I am to help them. To the hungry I was heaps of food and all good things, and thus I brought them joy. To the cold and freezing I was fire and sun warmth, thus their joy. To the poor and needy I was wealth and riches, thus their joy. To the naked I was every kind of raiment, thus their joy. To the childless I was sons and daughters, thus their joy. To those who sought a lover I was a loving and attractive consort, and thus their joy. To those who wanted magic powers I gave prowess in the 8 great cities, and thus I brought them joy. To the sick I was their remedy, and thus their joy. To the anguished I was all their mind desired, and thus I was their joy. To those hard pressed by the punishments of despots, I was the loving friend to lead them to the land of peace, and I was thus their joy. To those in fear of wild beasts, I was a haven, thus their joy. To those who fell into the depths, I was their drawing out, and thus their joy. To those tormented in the fires, I was a quenching stream, and thus their joy. To those in prey to any of the elements, I was their medicine, and thus their joy. For those who could not see, I was their eyes and brought them joy. And for those who could not walk, I was feet, and thus their joy. I was a tongue for those who could not speak, and thus I brought them joy. To those in fear of death, I granted immortality, and thus I was their joy. I led the dying on the path of transference and brought them joy. To those who wandered in the bardo state, I was their spirit guide, bringing them to joy. I cooled the burning heat and warmed the cold of those lost in the realms of hell. Howsoever they were tortured, I changed myself to shield them, being thus their joy. To those who lingered in the land of hungry ghosts, I was their food and drink, and thus their joy. I was freedom from oppression and servitude for those caught in the wordless state of beasts, and thus I brought them joy. Those beings born in places of war, I protected them from strife and brought them joy. I was a truce from endless conflict for the demigods, and was thus their joy. The jealous gods I guarded from their bitter fall, and I was thus their joy. I shielded all from everything that tortured them, and was their every joy. And now, 108 recitations of Om Mani Padme Hum as we call our minds back from wherever they've gone wandering, and as we come into the presence that allows that quiet little voice within to emerge, neither praising nor condemning, just gently guiding and instructing. Ah, what a relief. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And let's give thanks for our teachers. May all of my blessed teachers enjoy long, happy, healthy, productive lives and great support for their good works. May all beings benefit from their wisdom. May they enjoy a swift and happy rebirth. And long life prayer for Lama Dechen Yeshu Wangmo. Om Swasti. Through the powerful blessings of the immortal Pema Jungye and his consort, may the three secret qualities of the Dakini of supreme bliss, Yeshu Wangmo, be utterly stable. And may the light of her activities shine on the lotus groves of the teachings and of beings, so that they blossom in radiant splendor. And let's dedicate the merit. May the merit of this practice and all of my activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. May we carry the essence of Guanyin and Tara in our hearts. Namo Guanxin Pusa Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. And we bow to the goddesses, to one another, and to the inner teacher, and wishing everyone a peaceful day of listening within. Make sure you drop your counts in the comments so that I can add them to our total count, which, by the way, we're almost at 200,000. Thank you. Bye. Have a good weekend, everyone.